Can you imagine standing in a delivery room and watching a baby be born with two faces? This actually happened in Indonesia, leaving doctors completely speechless. And this is only the beginning.
Yeah. So both of our hair is fluffy today.
There are medical cases just as rare and shocking, including a young girl who was said to cry tears made of crystal. These conditions are so extraordinary that even the most experienced doctors were left stunned. Trace Johnson. Doctors were not prepared for a case like Trace Johnson, a boy whose face seemed to challenge everything medicine believed to be possible. He was born in Missouri, United States, on March 4, 2004, with a condition called craniofacial duplication. It is so rare that only a few cases have ever been recorded. Parts of his face were doubled, including two nostrils, widely spaced eyes, an unusual skull shape, and a cleft that extended into his nasal cavity. Most babies born with this condition do not survive, yet Trace held on to life in ways no one expected. From the very beginning, it was clear that his life would be extraordinary. Doctors warned his parents, Brandy and Joshua Johnson, that he was unlikely to survive past infancy. Trace suffered from hundreds of seizures every single day as his brain struggled to cope with the condition. Cognitive delays made even simple milestones feel almost impossible. Still, Trace showed moments of strength that amazed and puzzled doctors alike. His parents refused to give up hope. They arranged multiple surgeries to rebuild his skull, repair the cleft, and control his seizures using medication and cannabis oil. Over time, the number of seizures dropped from hundreds each day to around 40. Trace began exploring the world in ways doctors never believed he could, proving predictions wrong again and again. In 2022, Trace celebrated his 18th birthday, an achievement almost unheard of for someone with diprosopis. Every smile, every laugh, and every small step forward reminded doctors that life can still surprise even the most experienced professionals. Trace was not just surviving, he was truly living, quietly pushing the limits of what was thought possible. When Trace Johnson passed away on September 9, 2025, at the age of 21, the news sent shockwaves through the medical community. He had defied medical expectations, lived far longer than anyone imagined, and left behind a powerful legacy of resilience and wonder. Didi Kuswara, later known around the world as the Tree Man of Indonesia, shocked doctors from the moment his condition was first recorded. He was born in Indonesia in 1975 and developed thick, bark-like growths on his hands, feet, and face that no doctor had ever seen grow to such an extreme level. What stunned doctors most was not only how these growths looked, but how his body behaved. The warts, caused by a rare immune disorder called epidermodysplasia verruciformis, merged and hardened into massive, wood-like formations without causing infections or tissue damage doctors would normally expect. Epidermodysplasia verruciformis is an extremely rare condition that leaves patients unable to defend themselves against certain strains of the human papillomavirus. In Didi's case, the virus spread without control, turning what are usually small warts into enormous structures that weighed several kilograms. Doctors were amazed that his immune system failed so completely to stop the virus, yet he remained mentally alert, fully aware, and capable of enduring an immense physical burden. Simple actions like holding objects or walking became exhausting, but in many ways, he remained surprisingly functional. In 2008, Dr. Anthony Gaspari, a dermatologist in the United States, finally confirmed what confused doctors for years. Didi was missing a crucial antigen needed to suppress HPV, which explained why the growths kept returning. Surgeons removed more than 6 kilograms of tissue through multiple operations, temporarily restoring some movement and function. However, even after these surgeries, the warts slowly grew back, showing just how aggressive and unstoppable the condition truly was. For doctors, Didi's case was shocking on many levels. The size and speed of the growths, his body's unusual ability to endure severe deformities, and the biological process behind the disease had never been observed at this intensity. By agreeing to take part in medical studies, Didi turned a medical mystery into a powerful learning experience. Didi Kuswara passed away in 2016 at the age of 42. He left behind one of the most extreme documented cases of epidermodysplasia verruciformis and helped doctors better understand a rare and devastating relationship between a virus and the human immune cyst. Yahya El-Jabali. Doctors knew something was deeply wrong the moment Yahya El-Jabali was born, because a human face is never meant to begin life incomplete. Yahya was born in a small village near Tangier, Morocco, one of the most severe craniofacial malformations doctors had ever encountered. During early fetal development, The bones of his face did not fuse properly. He was born without eyes, without a fully formed nose, and without a functional mouth. Parts of his skull were also missing, leaving areas of his brain covered by nothing more than skin. The shock for doctors was immediate. Conditions this extreme are incredibly rare, and survival beyond infancy is often unlikely. For many years, Yahya lived hidden from the outside world. Sunlight, dust, and the risk of infection were constant threats. Local doctors repeatedly told his parents that nothing could be done. There were no nearby specialists capable of attempting reconstruction, and the dangers were overwhelming. Without eyes or a proper airway, even basic care became a daily struggle. Doctors feared that any medical intervention might end his life instead of saving it. Everything changed when a Moroccan woman living in Melbourne, Fatima Baraka, saw Yahya's photograph shared online. She was shocked that a child could be born this way and still survive. Determined to help, she organized medical support and arranged for Yahya to be brought to Australia. At the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne, surgeons were faced with a case unlike anything they had seen before. Yahya had no medical records, no history with anesthesia, and an anatomy that did not follow standard surgical guidelines. A surgical team led by Professor Tony Holmes carried out an 18-hour reconstructive operation. The surgeons rebuilt facial structures from the ground up, creating a nose, forming an upper jaw, and protecting exposed parts of the skull. The risks were enormous. Blood loss, infection, and possible neurological damage were constant concerns. Doctors were stunned not only by the difficulty of the surgery, but by how well Yahya's body withstood it. When the operation was complete, the change was remarkable. Yahya could breathe more safely, and because his vocal cords were intact, he was able to begin making sounds and eventually learn to speak. For the first time, doctors could see a future where survival was truly possible. Chen Tuanji. Few doctors could imagine a case as shocking as Chen Tuanji's. She was a young woman from Xiamen, in China's Fujian province, whose legs seemed to defy the basic rules of human anatomy. Born with severe congenital gingivitis, her knees bent sharply backward, making it impossible for her to stand or walk the first 26 years of her life. Most orthopedic doctors never see a deformity this extreme in their entire careers. And when Tuanji was first examined, many believed there was no treatment that could ever restore her ability to walk. The rarity and severity of her condition alone left doctors amazed. Life for Tuanji required constant creativity and strength. She learned to move by crawling with her arms, developing exceptional upper body power, and found ways to support her family despite her severe limitations. Simple actions like walking across a room, climbing stairs, or even keeping balance were challenges most people never have to consider. Every day reminded her and those around her the intense physical barriers she faced. An emotional burden of living without mobility weighed heavily on her. Her life began to change when her condition gained attention outside of China. With the help of charity organizations, she traveled to Hualien Tzu-Chi Hospital in Taiwan. There, a team of orthopedic surgeons who specialize in complex reconstructions accepted a challenge that many believed was impossible. Over several months, Tuanji underwent multiple detailed surgeries to realign her bones, rebuild her knees, and slowly straighten her legs. These procedures required extreme precision, advanced surgical methods, and long, demanding rehabilitation, with every small improvement hard-earned. Then, against all expectations, Chen Tuanji stood on her own feet and walked the first time as an adult. The transformation left doctors and specialists completely stunned. Sam Burns, a young man from Foxborough, Massachusetts, challenged everything doctors thought they knew about aging. Signs of his condition appeared before he even finished childhood, shocking physicians in ways few cases ever could. Diagnosed with Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome, Sam lived with one of the rarest and most devastating genetic conditions ever recorded. His body aged at an extremely fast rate, while his mind stayed completely normal, leaving doctors amazed, not only by how quickly his body declined, but also by the unique insight his case offered into the fragile process of human aging. Progeria is caused by a single genetic mutation that produces an abnormal protein called progerin. This protein damages cell structures, leading to rapid deterioration. Children with the condition show traits usually seen only in old age, such as brittle bones, stiff joints, hair loss, and severe cardiovascular problems. Fewer than 1 in 4 million children are born with progeria, and most do not survive past their early teens. Encountering even one patient is extraordinary for doctors, making Sam's case especially remarkable. What amazed specialists even more was the contrast between his body and mind. Sam's intelligence, humor, and emotional awareness remained completely intact. Cardiologists observed arteries that looked decades older than his 17 years, hardened and narrowed far too early. His scans and tests gave researchers a rare look into accelerated aging, compressing decades of physical decline into a single lifetime. Even in the face of such serious medical challenges, Sam chose to live boldly. He spoke publicly about his condition with calm and clarity, explaining the science of his own body in ways that impressed doctors, researchers, and audiences alike. The documentary Life, according to Sam, followed his life, showing the fight of a teenager and his family, both medical professionals, who worked tirelessly to advance experimental treatments and understanding of progeria. Sam passed away in 2014 at the age of 17. His life, though short, left a lasting impact on medicine. He forced doctors to see aging not just as an abstract idea, but as a biological process they could study, observe, and perhaps one day influence. Sam's story remains a testament to resilience, intelligence, and the incredible courage of a young life lived fully despite relentless odds. Hasnan Meselmani. Doctors thought they'd seen every possible eye condition, until a girl in Lebanon began shedding tears that could cut like glass. In 1996, Hasnan Meselmani, reportedly 12 years old, was brought in for something no medical textbook had prepared anyone for. Several times a day, tiny crystal-like shards would emerge directly from her eyes. They were translucent, sharp enough to scratch surfaces, yet her eyes showed almost no redness, infection, or lasting damage. For doctors used to seeing only liquid tears, this was enough to make them stop and rethink everything they knew. Ophthalmologists who examined the fragments confirmed what everyone feared. The shards were real and glass-like, not dried tears or residue. This revelation shocked doctors even more. Human tear ducts are not supposed to produce crystalline material. No known disease, metabolic disorder, or environmental factor could explain how this could happen without causing serious injury. Tests provided no answers, and each visit raised more questions than solutions. What unsettled doctors most was Hasnan herself. She did not appear to be in constant pain. There were no signs that anything foreign had been placed in her eyes. Her vision remained mostly normal. The crystals appeared, fell away, and her eyes looked almost unchanged. That contradiction alone defied every principle doctors had learned. News agencies picked up the story, sparking debates among specialists. Some suggested rare mineral secretions. Others suspected contamination. Yet no peer-reviewed study ever confirmed a diagnosis. And over time, skepticism grew. Some whispered about trickery, but no formal investigation resolved the case. Hasnan Meselmani's story remains unforgettable because it revealed the limits of medical certainty. Whether a true biological anomaly or an elaborate fabrication, it forced doctors to confront an uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the human body behaves in ways that science cannot yet explain. Joseph Carey Merrick. Doctors were unprepared for what Joseph Carey Merrick's body revealed. Not only because of how extreme it was, but because no medical framework at the time could explain it. Born in Leicester in the 19th century, Merrick seemed healthy at birth. Yet within his first few years, abnormal growth began reshaping his body in ways that defied all known disease patterns. His skin thickened, bones grew unevenly, and his limbs developed at different rates. As these changes became impossible to ignore, the public began calling him the Elephant Man, a name that would follow him for the rest of his life. Modern medicine believes Merrick had Proteus syndrome, a very rare genetic mosaic disorder that causes tissues to grow uncontrollably. Fewer than a few hundred cases have ever been documented worldwide. What shocked doctors was not only the severity of his deformities, but also that his intelligence remained unaffected. Despite being labeled and reduced to a nickname based on his appearance, his mind stayed fully intact, highlighting the stark contrast between how he looked and who he truly was. As the condition worsened, everyday tasks became nearly impossible. The weight of his head forced his neck into painful positions. His right arm grew so large it became useless, while his left hand remained small and delicate. Walking required immense effort, and speaking was difficult because of facial overgrowth. Medical professionals at the time had no treatment, no clear diagnosis, and no understanding of why his body continued to change. This uncertainty made Merrick's case both alarming and fascinating in medical circles. Rejected by society and unable to earn a living normally, Merrick was displayed in traveling shows, advertised almost exclusively as the Elephant Man. Crowds came to stare at what they could not understand. His condition attracted attention not for compassion, but for spectacle. This exploitation troubled many doctors, especially Frederick Treves, a London surgeon who eventually stepped in and brought Merrick to the London hospital. There, for the first time, he was treated as a patient rather than a curiosity. Trees documented Merritt's anatomy carefully, trying to classify a condition that seemed to rewrite the rules of human growth. Each examination raised new questions. Why did some tissues grow, while others did not? Why was his mind unaffected? Why did the disorder progress in ways no textbook described? These unanswered questions left doctors unsettled, aware they were witnessing something medicine could barely define. Joseph Merritt died at 27, likely due to complications from the weight and structure of his body. His skeleton was preserved for study, becoming a lasting symbol of medical uncertainty and human dignity. Doctors were shocked not only by the man the world called the Elephant Man, but also by what his life revealed about the limits of medical knowledge and the consequences of misunderstanding what it truly means to be human. Two-faced baby. In Indonesia, a baby was born with a condition that left even the most experienced doctors speechless. Galing Andika arrived in May with not one, but two moving faces on a single head, a condition so rare occurs in only 1 in 250,000 births. What made his case even more extraordinary and dangerous was that he shared a body with a twin sibling who never fully developed. This left him with an extra brain and a vulnerability that could be life-threatening. Doctors also discovered that Galing had hydrocephalus, a buildup of fluid in the skull that can cause long-term brain damage, disabilities, or even death. His parents described the news as a lightning bolt during pregnancy. Ultrasounds had shown a large head and a breech position, but nothing could prepare them for the severity of his condition at birth. They were advised to take Galing to a hospital in Jakarta for urgent treatment, but the cost was far beyond their means. Forced to bring him home, they now face the heartbreaking reality that each day is a struggle. He cannot drink milk properly and is losing weight, and doctors warn that his chances of survival are very slim. All they can do is hold him close and hope for a miracle. Galing's story is a powerful reminder of life's fragility, the limits of medicine, and the enduring strength of parents who face the unimaginable with love and courage. Eli Thompson. The delivery room went completely silent when doctors realized his baby had been born without a nose. Eli Thompson was born in 2015 with congenital aurinia, an almost unimaginably rare condition where a baby is born without a nose. Fewer than 1 in nearly 200 million births are affected, meaning most doctors spend their entire careers without ever seeing a single case. The shock was immediate. The nose isn't just cosmetic. It's essential for breathing, smelling, and early facial development. Its complete absence pushed doctors into uncharted medical territory from a very first breath. Against all odds, Eli could breathe through his mouth, but survival remained fragile. Doctors performed a tracheostomy to secure his airway, a procedure usually reserved for extreme emergencies. Even with intervention, every moment was risky. Feeding was difficult, and respiratory infections were a constant threat. Specialists monitored him closely, knowing there was no established medical guide for a child born this way. What amazed doctors even more was how isolated his condition truly was. Congenital aurinia often occurs due to disruptions during early embryonic development, when facial structures form from delicate neural crest cells. Sometimes it appears alongside brain abnormalities or hormonal issues affecting growth. Eli's scans revealed how narrowly he had avoided additional complications, showing just how thin the line can be between survival and fatality in rare genetic conditions. At home, his parents balanced hospital visits with moments of quiet awe. They described overwhelming fear mixed with fierce love and chose to share Eli's journey publicly, helping others understand the reality of rare conditions. Photos of Eli showed a baby who smiled, responded to voices, and reacted to affection, challenging the idea that appearance defines life's value. Doctors observe him not just as a patient, but as a living lesson. His existence revealed gaps in medical knowledge, highlighting how little science understands about facial development and genetic signaling in the earliest weeks of life. Eli passed away at just 2 years old due to complications related to his condition. Yet in his brief life, he left a lasting impact. He amazed doctors not because he lacked a nose, but because he survived it all, and because his short life forced medicine and the world confront the limits of science and the depth of human resilience. Lizzie Velasquez. Lizzie Velasquez was born with an extremely rare congenital disorder that made it impossible for her to gain weight. She had almost no body fat, a condition seen in only a handful of people worldwide. Unlike typical metabolic disorders, her body burned calories at an extraordinary rate, leaving her frail and small despite eating normally and staying active. Medical texts offered little guidance, and even specialists struggled to fully explain how her body defied normal understanding. From a very young age, challenges were constant. Her physical development followed a completely different pattern, requiring careful attention from her family and doctors. Milestones that other children achieved easily became tests of endurance. Her immune system, energy, and muscle strength were all affected, forcing every day to be measured with great care. Doctors were amazed not only by the rarity of her condition, but also by her mental resilience in the face of relentless physical limitations. Public scrutiny added another layer of difficulty. Lizzie faced bullying and harsh judgment, often based solely on her appearance, without understanding the biology behind it. Yet she turned the struggle into a platform, speaking openly about her experiences and inspiring millions. Her life became both a medical case study and a testament to courage, showing how determination and intellect can overcome extreme physical challenges. Medical observers were fascinated by the precision of her metabolism, which seemed to operate outside known patterns. Nutrition plans, careful monitoring, and specialized exercise helped only partially, emphasizing how unique her physiology truly was. Each checkup raised more questions than answers, making her a living subject to curiosity and study. Her condition forced doctors to confront the limits of medical knowledge and highlighted gaps in understanding rare metabolic disorders and energy regulation. Despite the constant vigilance required for survival, Lizzie's life unfolded with remarkable purpose. She became an advocate, author, and motivational speaker, turning a story that could have been defined by limitation into one of empowerment. Her life challenged assumptions about human physiology and sparked conversations about the social and medical treatment of people with extreme rare conditions. While her condition defined much of her daily life, it also revealed a deeper truth. The human body can hold complexities that astonish even the most experienced doctors. Lizzie's story, marked by rarity, resilience, and public impact, remains unforgettable and inspires exploration of the hidden battles within the body's own chemistry. Sammy Basso. Doctors never expected a child with progeria to reach adulthood, yet Sammy Basso defied those expectations. Born in Schio, Italy, and diagnosed at just 2 years old with Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome, a condition that causes rapid aging. Sammy lived far beyond the lifespan doctors had been taught to anticipate. Most children with progeria rarely survive into their teens, making Sammy's eventual 28 years a remarkable medical anomaly that drew worldwide attention. Progeria is caused by a rare genetic mutation that leads to the buildup of an abnormal protein called progerin. This protein damages cells and speeds up physical aging dramatically. Children with the condition develop hardened arteries, fragile bones, stiff joints, and cardiovascular disease, usually seen only in older adults. Doctors were amazed at how severely the condition affected Sammy's body, while his intellect remained completely intact. His scans showed arteries under stress decades ahead of his age, yet his mind stayed sharp, curious, and highly analytical. Even more astonishing to the medical community was Sammy's decision to confront the disease through science. Instead of remaining just a patient, he became an active contributor. He studied molecular biology and dedicated himself to understanding the very mutation causing his condition. Physicians and researchers found themselves collaborating with a patient who could discuss cellular processes, experimental treatments, and clinical data with remarkable clarity. Sammy participated in multiple clinical trials aimed at slowing the progression of progeria. These studies offered researchers rare long-term data, previously impossible to gather due to the short lifespans typically associated with the disease. His extended survival allowed doctors to observe how progeria progresses over time, providing insights into aging, cardiovascular disease, and cellular degeneration that couldn't be replicated in labs. Beyond research, Sammy became a strong advocate for rare disease awareness. He spoke publicly, met world leaders, and even had an audience with Pope Francis. His presence challenged assumptions, showing that a condition defined by limitation didn't have to define purpose. For many doctors, surprise was no longer just in his medical charts. It was in the contrast between his physical fragility and the global influence he achieved. When Sammy Basso passed away in October 2024 due to complications from progeria, the medical world reflected on what his life had taught them. He didn't just outlive expectations, he reshaped them. His case expanded scientific understanding of progeria and forced doctors to reconsider just how much remains unknown about aging and genetic disease.